Hello, everyone, or no one. I don't know who's out there. It's Friday night. I'm a little restless. I have some time on my hands. So I just thought I'd show up, open up the stream, see what happens. Invite you all in. Let me drop the link. The link should be pinned. Let me drop it on my other platforms real quick. And we'll see if we can get a panel going. I was just watching something that has me a little bit concerned. You'll know I'm a big AI optimist, even an AI evangelist, you could call me. I think AI has so much potential for the future to make us better, smarter people. But not what I was seeing just now. There was somebody doing a live stream talking to the AI like I do, and that AI was telling him everything he wanted to hear. It was validating every conspiracy belief he had. It was telling him the elites control the world, the WEF is plotting all this stuff, that they're deliberately trying to hollow out the middle class and send jobs overseas. It's like a phone sex operator. You know how they're there to, like, they try to keep you on the line as long as they can. They tell you what you want to hear and they validate and reinforce whatever you're feeding them so they can keep you engaged. That's kind of what social media is too, anyway. So if we assume that whatever current narratives we have are being reinforced by our social media bubbles, our information silos, whatever echo chambers that we've built around ourselves using social media. That's why I like to diversify my sources as much. I follow people from all across the political spectrum. So I have a range of ideas. But if we're assuming that's already happening with social media, and we assume that that's going to transfer to AI, or some of that will, maybe even a large portion of it. So now people are going to be sitting with their robots, feeding them their narratives, and then have that reflected back at them and strengthened and reinforced instead of challenged and critiqued. We're just going to be further entrenched in our stories that we think about reality, and like mythological reinforcement. I don't know if that's going to polarize us more. It probably is, because the people that you feel like live in your reality, that you share a common reality with, are going to be the people that are embedded in the same stories or adopting the same narratives and having those reinforced. So you're going to have these little, like, narrative tribes. I've already seen it happen with social. I kind of saw it happen growing up with Fox News. Oh, we have a guest. Wonderful. I don't have to talk about it. We can check in. Mr. Billy the Cat. Hey, Brooke.
Hi.
Welcome, welcome. Hey, Billy. Look at him. Hang on, let's.
Say hi to your
Wow.
fans.
Hey, Billy. He's still so big. What's
He's
up?
16 pounds.
That's big. That's like a very large human baby.
And he's not AI. I can tell you that for sure.
You make a great point. We still have our pets. Whatever happens with AI, we at least don't have AI pets yet. I remember, like, a while back, they had those keychain pets, and they didn't really go anywhere. It didn't become like a new norm. Hello, Smoke Steve. While I have you here, help. Tell people I'm out here. I'm isolated out in deep space. The algorithm is hiding me. Nobody can find me. Nobody knows I'm here anymore. This is Moonbase Exile. I definitely named the channel right. So I need people that show up to the channel to help other people find their way here so that I have an audience and a panel. So if you can get the word out, I think you're the only one. In fact, let me pop it in Discord as well. Maybe that'll pull a few viewers. What's going on with you?
Not much.
Are you still, how's work? Are you still at the same place?
I'm still at the same place. I've been there for a year. I'm still loving it for the most part. There's going to be, not so good moments, but the good moments outweigh the not so good moments versus an employer that we were both at.
The one.
Yeah.
Is that where you are now? You're
No, no,
back there?
no, no, no,
Oh.
no. I'm not there. I'm still at the hospital.
Okay. And so far so good?
Yeah. And like I said, good days and good moments outweigh the not so good days and moments.
Hey Daniel Barry, while you're making your tour, let people know I'm on. The algorithm is not pumping me out. So I need to rely on like gossip and word of mouth to generate an audience now. I just put it in Discord too. In fact, Steve, how did you know I was on? Did I show up somewhere? Because YouTube's been suppressing me lately. Well, that's good. What else is happening?
Me? Oh,
Yeah.
not much.
Oh.
I have a stent from my left kidney to my bladder because I literally have a 5 millimeter kidney stone. That's not in my kidney, but that's in my urethra. You know where the
Sounds 5 millimeters sounds gigantic for a kidney stone.
it is.
That's
And
like
so
a
they put in a
size of a
stent.
Skittle or jelly bean.
They put in a stent and they were going to do a vibrating thing to loosen it up, but because when they put in the stent, I know this sounds grotesque, and I hope you don't get censored for this, but a lot of infection came out. So
I'm sure I've heard worse.
what?
I'm sure I've heard worse.
I'm not going to go graphic into it, but a lot of infection came out of the kidney. So I still have this stone in there, but it's not hurting just because of how the stent is. So I have to get.
Is this a temporary thing? Like, are they going to eventually be able to get it out?
It is temporary. I have mid April, so in a couple weeks I'll be getting the stent out and the stone out.
How did you what were your symptoms? What first clued you in that something was going on? Was it painful?
I've had kidney stones before, but I've also had a kidney infection before, and the first time I went into the ER, it felt like a kidney infection. They did a CT scan. They're like, it's not an infection, it's a kidney stone. So they kept me overnight and decided not to put a stent in. And then I got discharged on a Sunday, and this is back in February. I got discharged on a Sunday. Next day, a Monday, I woke up in pain to where I knew it was a kidney stone, and went back into the ER and got the stent placed. And because of the amount of infection and because of how big it was, they couldn't do everything they wanted to. So yeah, I'm having the procedure done to get the stent out and to get the kidney stone out. Thankfully, because of how the stent is, it's not painful.
That's helping.
And it's helping.
When did all this start? How quick was the progression?
Like it started. I noticed on Friday evening, but I'm like, oh, it's just probably because I didn't drink enough.
Wait, you're talking about like recent, like last week?
February.
Oh, February. Okay.
Yeah. So,
all right.
So it was a Friday, and I'm like, oh, it's probably because I didn't drink enough water. So, anyway, but I had to go into the ER because it's just like, this is not because of the lack of water. Granted, partly it was, but it was a kidney stone. So yeah, I'm just glad it's getting taken care of.
And now you just wait. Well, you seem okay now, like
I'm
relatively.
overall I'm doing okay. It just the stint just is
Are you
really
still at work? Or are you taking time off?
no. I'm still working. Um because it's primarily a sit down job. If it was one of those job, because the stent has been bothering my bladder area, my urologist is like, don't do anything too physical. So I had to temporarily not hang on a minute, sorry.
Okay. All right.
Um
You want me to put you on mute?
no. Spam call.
Oh, okay.
Um
Yeah.
I had a um temporarily not volunteer at the cat shelter that I'm volunteering at, because that's a little bit more physical. So if I had a physical job, they probably would, because the stent is irritating me more than it should.
Oh,
So
well, good thing it's temporary, hopefully.
yes.
Well, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear all that. That's
It might suck, but it could be worse.
yeah, I guess so. That's
I
all part
mean,
of being in the human bodies that we're in,
yep,
especially as the years accumulate.
yeah. So what have you been up to? Are you still in Washington?
Same place. Yep, doing my thing. Still doing this. I've been doing more in-person stuff, trying to branch out to
Oh,
local.
yay. Are you
Yeah.
still thinking about hopping on a bus or a train or a plane or whatever and moving, or do you not know yet?
Yeah, I would love to do that. It's just gonna take longer to make that happen than it's gonna be more of a long-term plan than something
Uh,
I could just up and do.
okay.
Oh.
So what if um um you said more in-person stuff, like, is it similar to
Well,
um
I've been doing game nights. I found some board game groups and board gamers. So that's always fun as a hobby and a good way to meet people. I've started doing I'm trying to get these discussion nights off the ground in person at one of the local cafes. And I want to do more streaming content out in public where I start talking to locals and having locals come on. There's a local podcast studio and a podcast network that I discovered. So there's a bunch of people up here doing podcasts and this type of stuff.
that's cool.
So yeah, we'll see. Um,
And this is what people I wish people would realize is no matter what your recovery looks like, you can be a part of multiple communities.
do people think that you can't?
I don't know how to answer that, because for me, I've had conversations with people who say, oh, mental health is your life because you have lived experience and you work in the mental health system because of your lived experience. When, yes, because of my lived experience, it's the reason why I have a job in the field that I want to work in. It's not my complete
Who's saying this to you?
fellow peers.
Those same ones that mental health is their life.
No comment. But for me, I'm a part of the comic book community. I'm part of the fantasy, sci-fi, and horror book community. I'm also a part of the cat
The
community.
cat community.
Yeah. um, like like I know a lot of people I should say I can only speak for myself. For me, even though, yes, I work in mental health because of my lived experience with it, it's not it's one, you can be cocky ass on one channel and vulnerable, huh? Sorry. Was that directed toward me
I
or you?
kind of think I understand what he's saying. No, I think he's just making a general comment on being
Okay.
part of multiple communities.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I'm like, what? Anyway, I guess I guess it really
What happens in the comic communities, in the cat communities? Does mental health come up at all? Like
sometimes I mean like in the comic book communities, you'll be surprised how many people actually do have lived experience with mental health or substance use disorder. But for me, it's just, for me, I don't associate my mental health with comic books. I associate it as a hobby.
The comic book thing?
Yeah.
There's some kind of conference coming up. Did you go to the peer conference this year? There's a new one coming up. I forget what it's called. Say It Out Loud. Have you heard of that one?
When is that? Where is that at? Which one is that one at?
Let me try to get some information on it. I just found out about it like a few weeks ago, but apparently it's been going on for a while, and I recognize some of the names. Let me see. Oh, it's from Peer Wa. For 25 years, the Say It Out Loud conference has brought together behavioral health professionals, peer support specialists, community advocates, and individuals with lived experience to share knowledge, build connections, and strengthen services. Let me see if I can see where it is this year. Mary Lambert's going to be the guest. It's at Tulalip, the Tulalip Resort up here.
Oh, cool.
Here, I'll pop the link in the back.
Okay.
But I had just never heard of it, and I thought it was weird that it's been going on for 25 years. And none of the peer, I've never heard it mentioned by anybody.
It sounds familiar, but I don't know why I never picked up that it was a peer-related thing. Mm-hmm. From my understanding, it sounds like peer pathways may not be happening this year.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know everything. I guess.
Well, this would be like the first year for a while that it didn't happen, because even during COVID, we did it online. We managed to pull it off.
I'm only going by what I'm told by folks. So,
but you're in a position to hear some of the gossip.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, peer support's changing here. I've noticed it. Like we saw it kind of change even in our generation, but now when I look at it, it really looks like it's changed to where I almost don't even recognize it anymore.
So, yeah.
Well, what else is going on? How is your place, your city, what's going on around town?
I'm just trying to stay within my own little bubble.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people are.
I just don't want to deal with a lot of crap right now.
Yeah, well, that's understandable. I mean, who does? Maybe that's one thing that keeps us in our bubbles, is the stress and tension we encounter when we try to move out of it.
Yeah, especially when we're so I was talking to my therapist a couple days ago, and we're discussing my frustration with how people misinterpret, lack of a better word, my communication style because I'm on the spectrum.
Autism?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They do that with me too. Does it happen at work? Like even in professional settings?
Well, it happened at my last employer. My current employer, they seem really, really good about it. Like if they're having trouble understanding me, or not understanding, but they ask clarifying questions, and then they're a lot more patient with me, and then I ask clarifying questions, if that makes sense.
I mean, it does to me. I've never had a problem like understanding you, and I've seen you work. It's definitely not a barrier in the work you do. We were on the phone line together, and the peer work that you do, especially the crisis work. Like, none of the people you're helping seems to thrown off by it. It doesn't
Yeah.
stop you from being able to be a peer.
What did Alex say? Wait.
Let me see. I don't know because I haven't filled. Last time I filled up was before all the stuff in the Middle East started. So gas prices were still whatever they were. I'm almost time to fill up again, so I can let you know next time I go to the pump. But Washington State also has the highest gas prices in the nation, from what I'm told.
Hey, Alex, I'm looking up gas prices nearest me, and I'm actually in the city of Seattle. So, let me.
It looks like $4.91 and $5.37. This is from AAA site.
Okay, so I just looked up the two gas stations closest to me, and one is almost $6, and the other one is, and that's for unleaded.
That is the highest I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't think I've ever seen them go over $5.
So, and remember, I also live in the city by the 5 freeway.
Let me see. Highest state with the highest gas prices. Because Washington adds all these fees and taxes and stuff that they vote in onto the gas price. So when it hits the pump, it's higher than when it starts. 10 states with the absolute highest gas prices. Wow, California is $7.25 for regular, $7.75 for supreme. Washington's number 2. Hawaii over 5. Or they have Oregon as number 4, but it's just at $3.20. And that's just unleaded. So yeah, it looks like the California, Washington, Hawaii are up there, and then the other states under that there's a big drop after that. Wait, what is oh wow, cool. Well, if you're ever in this area, let me know. I'm outside of Seattle. B-say, what is the send button and the back button? And how did all of you find me tonight anyway? Because the algorithm's been shielding me from an audience.
For me, I was on Facebook and saw it pop up.
You saw it through Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started putting it on other platforms. See, that's more. I think that's more closer to the national average. Up here, it's over $5. But yeah, I'm interested in what this send or back button is, because if there's a way for, I don't know, I need to find a way for people to find me and show up when I'm on, because I can't rely on YouTube to notify people anymore. Even regular viewers are not getting notifications. All right, we got somebody else in the back.
Hello.
Our local busker, Be More. What's up?
Good to see you all. How are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. Just chatting. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I got some things worked out with my body, and it's feeling a lot better. Although my plumbing's broken, I got my
Like on its own, or did you see a doctor who
well,
was finally?
since I've been I don't want to get TMI going on, but
Okay, we just had some TMI from Brooke. This is TMI night, I guess.
I mean, like, it's just like, it's just human what people have to do. I clogged up the toilet, and it's not that it was the toilet.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's okay.
It's so
Well, but you're
bad.
feeling better.
Yeah, and it's because of Cascara Sagrada. This stuff saved my life, man. I've tried every
Oh my God, Vinny, where have you been?
shit.
How did you find me of all people? Wow, if Vinny's here, then the word's getting out somewhere. Vinny, tell people I'm live if you're on Discord or something.
This helped my
supplement?
guts and my bowels more than anything I've ever tried in my entire life. And this is expired 2026, but this kind of Cascara Sagrada, well, any kind of Cascara Sagrada, it ages kind of like wine. So this is old, so it worked even better than it did when I bought it years and years ago.
Oh.
So now I feel like way relieved and much happier.
Well,
I heard that I swear I heard that Hitler had the problem where he couldn't shit, and he probably couldn't because he was an opioid addict, right? So like he probably if he couldn't shit, that's why he was probably angry all the time. It probably helped him with his speeches.
he does look like angry in the speeches, like blocked
Yeah.
up or something.
Like it's like the amphetamines plus.
Wow, that's a conspiracy theory I think I could live with.
Well, I mean, like it kind of makes sense because I think it came out that one of his doctors said that he couldn't poop or something. That was somehow it came out. That's what I heard. That's just alleged, I guess. So, but it makes sense. I mean, he was on amphetamines and that constipated him, I'm sure. No doubt.
Oh, I'm so glad I don't know about any of that.
I'm gonna drink me some ginger ale. I shouldn't be doing this, but yeah.
Just ginger ale?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. Nah, no booze in it no more. Unless somebody brings something over. I had fun with a fellow YouTuber came over with his wife and we had mixed drinks. We smoked lots of weed and I played music for them with my nephew and that was like excellent.
Did you make any videos?
Yeah. Well, there was one right before they showed up. It's actually the only short that I have on my YouTube. He's playing like this type of drum, and he's also stomping his foot with this kind of like thing that sounds like bells or something. It kind of sounds like it keeps the rhythm going. And I'm playing the Cajun accordion like right in front of him.
Is it the Lacazine special?
Possible. Well, it's the only short I really have
From March 20th.
I don't know. I mean, that sounds about right. It's the short. It's in the shorts, so it's either it was the one with the I think it is Lacazine. Yeah. But that there's two shorts that are pretty much exactly the same thing. So I don't know any difference. And Lacazine, you know where that is.
Yeah, that was like one town over from where I lived.
That's right. And that song is public domain.
Yeah, but look, nobody cares if that Cajun stuff's copyrighted.
Yeah, how would the algorithm even realize we're playing anything?
Right, there's probably not even Cajun music in its data banks. It took Suno forever to get Cajun music right.
Yeah. So did you find that short? There's two that are identical. Like the two that are on there are just identical.
How short is short? You want me to play it?
It's like a minute 10 seconds, something like that.
All right, here is Busker playing Lacassine Special. Lacassine is a town in Louisiana.
And that's my
near where I
nephew
live.
behind me, right? By the way, my nephew right there.
Busker and his nephew from March 20th.
That's a good one. Cheers. Thank you for watching. That's awesome. What kind of, you got a black and white kitty there, huh?
Yeah, his name is Billy.
Billy, huh? How old's Billy?
He's a tuxedo. Hey.
Yeah, looks like one.
Say hi. Say hi.
Hey, tuxedo, Billy.
He's like, never mind.
Hunting camp. Yeah, we have a hunting camp. Every time Busker plays video, I get a little taste of home. And look, you got a compliment from Not Laws. This is huge, Busker.
Well, thank you.
Wow.
I appreciate that.
You had something nice to say.
Thank you. It's always appreciated. Yeah. Wish it wasn't so dark in here. Maybe I can get the white light going or something. White lighting.
Are you talking to it?
Yeah. And here we go.
Look at that. Wow.
There we go. That's
all right. Don't overdo it, Not Loss. You're gonna lose sincerity if you lay it on too thick.
Uh-oh.
What little you have.
What happened?
I'm just clowning with Not Loss.
No, I'm gonna turn off the camera for one moment.
Yeah. I'm sure he eats well. Look at him.
16 pounds.
Oh wow. How old did you say the cat was again? I don't know if you said him.
I don't think I shared. He's 16 pounds and he's about 12-ish years old. Yeah,
that's a lot. But like, I'll tell you what, they can live a long time.
Yep.
My last cat lived to 22 years old. I had him since 2000.
Was that the cat?
Yeah, El Guapo. Oh, I'll show you a picture
Guapo,
of him.
yeah.
I'll share this for the new.
I feel like I know him.
Yeah, Guapo.
You sure don't want to be around Billy when he decides to fart.
No, Man, we get the most interesting cats on here. We have Billy, Guapo, we had Mangy. This is the place for
Oh,
the
whoops.
cats that will live in infamy.
Oh, I have to. How can I change my avatar in here? Where is it? It used to be right there. Huh. I think I have to go out and come back.
He's very well behaved tonight. He looks so
Oh,
active though, like he's
here we
ready to
go.
go catch a mouse.
I'm blind. All right, so
He's definitely purring at the moment, but I also have to watch his tail. So because if it starts twitching, that means he's probably going to attack my hand.
He does that?
Well, to play.
Oh, okay.
all right, so this is the big one is El Guapo. He's half African serval and half F1 Bengal. And right next to him is the little girlfriend Kaya, who was an F5 Bengal.
Poor Kaya. Yikes.
She was they were like boyfriend girlfriend until he became gay and started mounting the other males. Even though they
I
all
didn't hear.
fixed.
I did not know that part. Just like the Mangy story, there are layers to the Guapo story that I did not.
Well, these are real stories. These aren't bullshit.
I think Mangy was real too.
I don't.
He had a T-shirt and a license plate. Yeah, I loved they had a whole Mangy family that used to come here. I love the Mangies. So he turned gay and started. Where was he finding these other cats? Maybe I get some tips.
I had like there was like 4 or 5 cats living in my girlfriend had a cat too, so there was like 2 Bengals, a Savannah cat, which is half serval, it was an F1 serval, Savannah, and yeah, he was a trip. When I first got him, he was 7 months old, and he was really traumatized and found out a lot of things about him afterwards that something stopped me from giving him back. The guy who owned him was a New York lawyer, and he was living in an apartment with another Savannah cat. And that one was not getting along with it, so he had to get rid of it. That was his first story. And then when I got it the thing was so vicious. And
yeah, I've heard those stories.
I mean, like real vicious. And I called him. I'm like, has this thing ever bitten you? He's like, yeah, it bit me. Yeah. I'm like, well, what happened? Well, I spent a month in the hospital, but like if you give him time, he'll come around. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like, yeah. And he bit the neighbor's dog, and the dog died from an infection.
So he killed the dog.
Yeah.
He didn't just bite him. He killed him.
It was a venomous cat. Its mouth was so venomous, and it needed a dentist, but that was never. Getting him to the vet was harder than you can even imagine. Trying to put a pill in his mouth to knock him out. That was the first time I had to get him because he had bladder crystals. They had to go in and get them out. And they didn't have to trans him. They said might have to do that. They'd have to, but they didn't have to. And he lived for 22 years. I mean, granted, in his old age, he was peeing all over everything, and at least he wasn't pooping all over everything. But his turds were real dry, so he probably had electrolyte needed, and I didn't know that. But getting him to the vet was not a very good thing. I never really got him to the vet that often because he seemed healthy up until his 20s, and then all of a sudden he just kind of dropped out, But
I've seen cats do that when they get old. They just kind of decline very rapidly.
Yeah,
and a lot of times it is kidney. It's
yeah.
kidneys are
cats tend to hide and mask their pain and illnesses quite a long time until it's time to put them down.
Yeah.
Are you really going to show everybody your butt?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
As long as it doesn't have any poop on it, it's okay.
Exactly.
How did we end up here? Oh, never mind. I know how.
It could be worse, Jeff.
It probably could be, but it could be better too. That's okay. I'm here to roll with it. This is our experimental panel.
I got a call coming in. Hold on one moment.
Okay.
You hear that? That's
you want me to mute you? All right. So, what read any good comics lately?
I'm just rereading the Wonder Woman series again.
Like the old ones from back in the day? Are they?
Yeah, like from the 80s and 90s.
I wasn't into comics that I can't. Pictures throw me off. I can't do picture and text at the same time. I need to either read the story or watch a movie. But my friend was really into them. He collected them. And the thing I remember most about comics were the ads in the back for the X-ray glasses and the whoopee cushions. And
I mean, well, nowadays they don't have those ads, and I have to say I miss those ads.
Hey guys, I'm sorry. I got to hop off. I got a call from a friend, but I'll maybe come back in a little while.
Okay. Well, take care. Thanks for adding to the experiment.
All right. Take care.
RW is asking what makes the panel experimental.
Well, he obviously did not watch the last 5 minutes. He can rewind and go see it. That is the very definition of experimental. All of my shows are experimental, unless I have something very specific to feature. Yeah, remember those? And I believed it as a kid too. I in fact, I begged my mom for the glasses. I think she told me no, she's not going to waste her money on them because they don't work and they're not going to do what I think they do. But they made it seem like you could see the bones in people's hands and you could look through people's clothes. It was marketed to kids like me because I fell for all of those ads in the back. My skepticism did not kick in until later.
I remember on the back of one of the comic books that my mom bought me when I was visiting her in Olympia, it had this thing of like, it's what I now call get rich quick scheme, but like to sell like greeting cards door to door. And I did that, and it had to be at least a certain amount. But it took me like a month to sell like 20 greeting cards, and I'm like, this isn't worth it.
I've never heard of that. People actually bought greeting cards from door salesmen. We would have to sell stuff as kid, like for school, for fundraisers.
Yeah, I mean, but this is what it kind of felt like. But I'm like, hey, it's gonna help me earn money, so I don't have to borrow money. And I was like 9-10 years old.
Well, the idea behind it sounds good. Like that's good for a 9-year-old to be enterprising and think of ways.
I mean, but I don't think it was worth the time.
You had to buy the greeting cards?
My mom had to buy the greeting cards, and each greeting card had to be at least a certain price to break even.
Wow.
And let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. I think people are just giving me the money and not even doing anything with the greeting cards because they felt bad.
Probably so, because most people just go to the drugstore or the. I remember they used to have Hallmark card shops when they need a specific greeting card.
Exactly.
Yes, the cereal toys. This was our trip to the grocery store. The first thing we would do, we'd hit the cereal aisle and we would pick out the cereal based on what the prize was. So we'd look at all the cereal boxes and see which ones had the best prizes. And our mom would let us pick out 1 or 2 boxes of cereal. And then I would go home and I would immediately dump the entire cereal into a bowl and get the prize out and then pour the cereal back in the box. Because they always put the prize at the bottom. You had to like eat half the cereal before you could even get the prize. And I wanted that prize that day right now. That's why I got the cereal in the first place, for the prize. So that was my cereal toy ritual. And one time it was Captain Crunch, and they had these they were little plastic toys. They were like magic tricks, like a plastic nail you put on your finger and it looked like a nail is going through your finger, that kind of stuff. I had some oddball box. This thing had about 10 or 15 toys in it. So I went to get the prize out, and then there was another toy and another toy, and I kept pouring, and another toy and another toy. I got so many toys out of that one box. I guess it was like a defect or something, but I was so excited about that haul.
I remember some of them. Good night, Alex.
Take care, Crash.
I remember some of them actually having some vinyl records on them, and
on the back that you peel off, and
yeah,
and you had to like put a penny on the record to keep it steady. I do remember those. One of them, they had you could grow a plant. It was this little kid. It had dirt and a seed and this little plastic like canister, and you put the seed in the dirt and a plant shoot would eventually grow out of it. I remember that one. And my favorite Cracker Jack prize were the tattoos that you could lick and wet and put on your skin. But the bubble gum had the best tattoos. They were more a high quality, and I love the colors on them.
Remember candy cigarettes?
Yeah, we smoked them at school. I hated that. They were like pure sugar. They were just like hardened, crystallized sugar. But I'm talking about elementary school, like first, second grade. They had them in the vending machine. We had a candy vending machine in the hall, and at recess, the kids could go and buy candy from it. And candy cigarettes was one of the candy. And the kids would take them on the playground and pretend like they were smoking cigarettes. And this was like 7, 8-year-olds, 6-year-olds. And nobody thought anything of it.
I remember all I had to do was get a note from my mom or dad and saying that it was okay for me to, and this was in the 80s, I could buy cigarettes for my parents.
Mm-hmm. We did that too. My stepdad was always sending us to the store to buy a cigarette, and we'd go to the store. We'd say, "Can we get a pack of such and such? It's for our stepdad." And that was back when you had charge accounts at the store, and you could just charge it to your account. And we'd be like, "Just put it on his account," and they'd take out a ledger and they'd write the price of the cigarette under his paper, and then they'd go in and pay it periodically.
I wish they still did that, because you know how helpful that would be for a lot of people.
To get them cigarette, like the parents need their cigarettes.
Well, not the cigarettes, but like if you needed a gallon of milk and you don't get paid for another 2 days.
This was a very small village, and it was way more of a high trust society. I don't know if that would work on a smaller scale, but even in the big cities, like, didn't some of those independent stores have charge accounts?
I know a lot of the independent stores that my dad would go to in California, and a lot of the smaller stores in Olympia my mom would go to used to do that all the freaking time up until like the early 90s.
Yeah, I mean, it was normal growing up to have a charge account at the local store. Also, I remember layaway. You could go and put stuff on layaway.
Yeah, at like Kmart.
Oh, so Brooklyn had it. That's what I'm thinking, because it seemed like in the movies, those stores had charge accounts. I don't know. It was just normal growing up. And we lived next door to a saloon. The neighbors had a saloon in their front yard. They lived in a trailer, and in the front of the trailer was a saloon. I'm not kidding. And we would take all of our glass Coke bottles, all of our empty glass bottles, and they would send us to the saloon to drop them off and give them to the bartender because you could turn them in for money. So I remember going to the saloon with these glass bottles and handing it to the guy behind the bar, and then you get like 10 cents per bottle or something.
I remember
So we
when
could do all of that as kids. Nobody said anything. It was completely normal for kids to be buying cigarettes for their parents and going into bars to turn in glass bottles.
I mean, I am on the younger side of Gen X, and I remember a lot of this stuff. And like, even though smoking on campus in high school was pretty much done with when I was in high school, because like I said, I'm a younger Gen Xer. It just like I feel like a lot of Gen Xers, all of Gen X was the last generation that had a care. I'm not saying childhood was carefree. I'm just saying it was more carefree than it is now.
Because the adults were not neurotic. We're it's the Gen Xers and the way they raise their kids that's where I guess they didn't want their kids to grow up like they did.
I used
What's
to collect.
a pog?
I used to collect pogs, and then I gave my brother my pogs, who ended up collecting them.
I've never heard of a pog. It looks like a little button or something.
You used to be able to smoke on planes back in the day.
Yes,
Brown.
I remember smoking on the planes. You could smoke in restaurants. They had smoking sections in the restaurant, and you could smoke in bars. Bars were so smoky. Yeah, you could back then. You could smoke everywhere. Nobody cared. I remember when I was in my 30s when a lot of the no smoking laws started to pass. And suddenly you couldn't smoke in restaurants anymore. You couldn't smoke in bars. You'd have to go outside on the patio. That was all weird to me, that change. And now it's normal. I don't even notice that there's no smoke in these places anymore. Paper corn. I remember stickers, like sticker books people would collect. They have these trapper keepers full of stickers. What? I have never heard. Oh my God. I just looked them up too. I've never seen a pog. We didn't have that where I was from. I don't know anybody that had a pog.
You do now know someone who had pogs. Me.
Guess so.
Sorry, I had to be a smartass.
I do remember Cabbage Patch Kids, that craze.
I still have my 2 Cabbage Patch Kids.
Are they authentic with the birth certificate? Because they had a bunch of knockoffs because they weren't making enough of the real ones. So people were buying the knockoffs.
No, I have the birth certificates and everything.
Okay. So they actually came from the Cabbage Patch and grew out of the cabbage. Right.
I remember when smoking was okay in hospitals.
Yeah, they'd have the little ashtray things out in the hall. Yeah, you're right. I mean, now that we're in a no smoking world, I'm okay with it. I'm not like advocating to get smoking back, but it was so much a norm back then. It wasn't even seen as a big deal. But bars were smoky. You would come back. I didn't smoke a lot of times, and I'd go to the bars. You'd come back smelling of smoke. Your clothes would stink. the whole time you're in the bar, it's smoky. The air is cloudy. You're breathing in smoke. I did love the clove cigarettes though. Usually because that was my people. Anytime I was in a bar and I smelled cloves and I followed the smell, there was going to be a goth or a punk or somebody into alternative music smoking it. So that was a good way to find my people, was follow the clove smoke. Wait, what? Demons and hang on, what's it called? I want to see this one.
Wait, am I reading that
boy?
right?
Oh, Polly. Wait, they had a boy version of Polly Pocket.
Yes,
I remember
they
Holly
did.
Hobby. Didn't they have a guy in the Holly Hobby collection? And they had Raggedy Andy. I don't know. I didn't play with dolls. My sister had all that stuff. What let's see, documentary Demon Toys. I remember the Furbies and Teddy Ruxpin and the Monchichi. Demonic Toys. I'll be damned. Oh wait, this looks like a hang on, this is a horror movie. I'm looking for the documentary. There's a horror movie called Demonic Toys from 1992. Yeah, and that was past my generation. I think my brothers, we never had one, but I think my brother's friends had one. I had outgrown it by then. My toy limit line was the Castle Grayskull. Anything after Castle Grayskull was my younger siblings' generation, and I didn't really get involved in the Transformers and all that other stuff. Speak and Spell. I remember Speak and Spell. I never had one because I never needed one because I knew how to spell, and it would have been boring to me. But I did have a Little Professor calculator. Furby Demons. Okay. Yeah, my brother had some of the Transformers, but I never got into them. Furby. I'm not finding it.
I had a
If you can
library.
find the title for me, let me know.
I
might want to.
I think I found hang on,
Was it Creepy Crawlers? I had those, but it wasn't candy.
So I'm looking at the AI overview. Furby demons refer to widespread 90s era urban legend and modern online meme that 1998 Furby toys are haunted or possessed due to the sensitive motion sound sensors, lack of an on-off switch, and jerky animatronics. Furbies often awoke unexpectedly, sometimes without batteries, leading to tales of them speaking, growling, and acting maliciously. And that's what AI said.
And now we have Alexa. Yeah, I love my creepy crawlers. They had this colored goo you would squeeze into these molds, and you can make bugs and lizards. It's like the stuff that fishing tackle is made of. Those fake plastic worms. It's kind of that kind of material, and it would make bugs and lizards and all kind of creatures, and you could color them different ways because they had different colored goo you could spray in. And I also had this thing that it was these molds, and you had this plaster, and you would put it in these molds, and you would turn it on, and it would spin, and it would make these monster heads, and then you could paint them. It came with paint, and I remember making the monster heads and painting them. And I had the what do you call it? I had the spirograph, but I had the spin art. That's what it is. It was this thing you plug in, and it's this canvas you put inside of it, and then you turn it on and it spins, and you squirt paint onto it, and it makes all these abstract painting pictures as it spins, and it spins all the paint around. Yeah, okay, you remember spin art. Yeah, we had all that. Anything artsy, I usually ended up with because those are the fun toys. Light Bright is the pinnacle of toys. If I could keep one toy on a desert island as a kid, it would be that Light Bright. Every time we were at the store and they had a new pack of Light Bright things, I begged my mom for the latest Light Bright pack. She was constantly buying me new Light Bright packets. You could put me in the room with a Light Bright and it would entertain me for hours. You wouldn't hear from me the rest of the day.
Hey, I hate to do this. Wait. I hate to do this, but I need to get going.
Okay, well, it was good hanging out, catching
Good
up.
was good to see you.
You sound really good despite all the.
I mean, I'm doing relatively well. I mean, despite some of the health issues, but you know, like I look at it like this. You know, it's just a minor health issue that will get resolved in a couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah. Well, I hope it does.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good day.
You too. Take care. Stay in touch. All right. Well, it's a Friday night. I'm not necessarily ready to end it, but I can keep it going for a little while. If there's something else you want to talk about or reminisce about or come up on panel, talk about. Oh my God. And you know, now they have all the fancy lighting and light strips, and they have these light panels you can put on. None of that to me is as fun as a Light Bright. Just give me, because we had a whole canister that we'd keep the pegs in, all the colored pegs. And you'd have to put in the color, whatever letter was on the Light Bright form, you'd have to find that color and put it in, and it would gradually make the picture. There's no replacement for that. And string art too. I wish they'd bring that back. I love string art. Wood graphics. I think they have a new Light Bright too that looks different. Oh, and the Viewmaster. Remember the Viewmaster? It was 3D. And I had the one with the dinosaur, the little yellow dinosaur. I loved that Viewmaster. I would watch it for hours and hours and hours, because you could like enter those dinosaur worlds in your mind because they were 3-dimensional. I would just get lost in those landscapes. I don't know. I think Gen X I think we had the best toys, and it was the most fun generation to grow up in. Gen X was really, it was all about kids being kids and having fun without a lot of restraint or supervision. Here's a bunch of fun toys. The Gen X parenting philosophy was go play, like stay out of the adult's hair, go find something to do, entertain yourself, go play, go outside, go find some kids to play with, find some toys to play, let the adults do their thing. That was the ethos I grew up with. Anytime you could stay out of the adult's hair, they were more than happy to let you do that. So we didn't have people hovering over us. We didn't have people constantly telling us what to do, micromanaging us. We could wake up in the morning, watch cartoons, do whatever we wanted that day. Our day wasn't structured or planned out. It was very self-directed. And I played a lot by myself. I had all these imaginary worlds I would create and I would play in. Or when you had friends, then y'all would all find something together to do together. But very little did you rely on adults to entertain you or structure your day for you or provide some kind of activity for you to do. We were coming up with stuff, way better stuff than any of the adults could have come up with. The adults' job were to take us to the movies, take us to the amusement parks, take us to the swimming pools. That's where they contribute to our fun, the stuff you had to drive to and pay for. Outside of that, just let the kids loose. We were going to figure out way more fun than they could have. We had the slip and slides. We had the Willy Water Bug. We would turn on the sprinkler. I remember we would just hook the sprinkler up to the hose, and we would play in the sprinkler all day long. And we had one of those metal slides, and we would put the sprinkler on the slide and get it wet, and we would slide down the slide into the sprinkler. That would keep us entertained for hours just doing that. Oh, there's not even cartoons anymore? Well, you know, my philosophy was the minute they took off Schoolhouse Rock from Saturday morning TV, I think the education of Americans plummeted. I can tell who grew up with a Schoolhouse Rock education and who didn't. Yes. Yes. Vinny, you are so right. I swear to God, I did not need anything to play. I could go outside. There was a lot of trees. I would climb trees. I had this one, it was a willow tree, and it had this big trunk that was almost like at a horizontal angle, and that was my spaceship. And I would walk up to the top of that tree, and it had a branch that was like the spaceship control, and that spaceship could take me anywhere I wanted to go. And then I would come down the tree on whatever planet I landed on in my imagination, and I would play in my mind the whole time. I didn't need a toy. I didn't need a prop. I did not need an action figure. My favorite action figures were my dinosaurs. I had all the dinosaurs, every dinosaur you could imagine. And I would go outside and I would find dirt or like a mound or a hill or some kind of cool setting. And I would create. My grandma at one time was redoing her yard. So she had all these mounds of dirt that made like these big mountains for the dinosaurs. And I would dig caves in them and tunnels and make little villages and structures. And I could play with my dinosaurs anywhere for hours and hours and hours. Okay, I will check it out right now. I don't know, because I watch my nieces and nephews and they are the screens. They come home from school, they find their iPad, they turn on their big screen TV, their video game. Their entertainment is screen based, but they seem well adjusted. They seem intelligent, like they're not suffering for it. I think they're just losing that embodied outdoor type of play that we had, and the type like the play with other kids. Now, a lot of them are involved in organized sports, so they still get a structured version of that interaction. But we had that spontaneous, like the kids would just get together. We'd make up all these games. We had so many versions of tag and hide and seek and treasure hunt and all kind of colored eggs, swing the statues. So I think they're getting their entertainment, they're getting their imagination stimulated just in a different way. But talking to them, they don't seem that like they're not another species. They're still able to interface with us in a more or less normal way. It really did, Vinny. I've been going back and watching some of the old 80s movies. In fact, I was watching Beverly Hills Cop tonight. What's a Quincy? Man, that sounds fun. Yeah, I remember the King of the Hill. We would do that. We would do that at the park too. That's another thing. We had parks you could go play at with no adults, just neighborhood parks. They had merry-go-rounds. Oh my God, the things we did on that merry-go-round. We would spin it as fast as we could and like try to see if we could make the other person fly off. We had the rocket slides, remember the bullet rocket slides with the little swinging bridge, and we would try to crawl up the big slide the wrong way from the bottom and make it our way to the top. We had all that stuff. So we could go to the park and entertain ourselves just on the park equipment. Oh, well, the one thing though I did not have as a kid that I regret and I feel like I missed out on, we never had a tree house. I would have loved a tree house. We had plenty of trees I could play in, but not a platform with the roof and a structure. We didn't have anything cool like that. And growing up, my stepdad when they first got together, he was building us a life-size playhouse in the backyard. It was almost like a miniature tiny home. And originally he was going to use it as a storage building, but he decided to convert it into a playhouse for the kids. And it had all these rooms. It was going to have like a fake kitchen and a fake living room and all that stuff. And he never did finish it. And then we eventually ended up moving. So it was the skeleton of a house. And it had the floor plan was built and the skeleton structure, but the walls and the roof were never put on it. And so we would go out there on that half-built house and we would imagine so many different kind of settings to play in using that partially built playhouse. I don't know. Childhood was fun, y'all. I'm not even going to try to hide it. If you didn't grow up Gen X, I guess embrace how you did grow up. It's part of who you are. But I don't think we'll ever see another Gen X type generation again anytime soon. There was a lot of stuff we took for granted that we didn't realize we were going to lose with technology. And not only technology, but the new style of parenting that came along with it. There was a big shift in the 90s from the parentings was more hands-on. You had the helicopter parents. The kids' day was more structured. They went to school. They had after-school activities. The playtime was structured with the friends. When we had slumber parties, or they weren't even slumber parties, we would just go spend the night at our friend's house, or they'd spend the night over just spontaneously. The adults would leave us alone. They'd let us do whatever we wanted. They'd stay out of our way. And now it's supervised. It's, hey, Dino. Oh, is that why you weren't there for Fallout? We have your ghoul, by the way, ready to go. I think it's what is it? Bailey smiley face or something like that. Bailey big smile. But the problem is we couldn't figure out how to make the game work, so we ended up not playing, and we played code names instead. But we do have a ghoul spot for you next time we play. Okay, what was that documentary? Let me look it up. The Occult in Your Living Room. I probably had most of that stuff. Ouija boards. We did the Bloody Mary. The Bloody Mary was scary growing up because I was superstitious. And I remember we'd go in my my stepdad's grandma had a bathroom with no windows. It was like in the center of her house. And we'd go in that bathroom and we'd turn the light off and do the Bloody Mary thing. And we'd dare each other to go in alone and do it by ourselves. Sometimes we'd light a little candle. I never did see Bloody Mary. All right, I see the documentary. I'm just not finding it online, but I see the description of it from 2000. Stephen Dollins is an ex-Satanist high priest that exposes the subtle devices used to infiltrate the homes of Christians and non-Christians alike. Oh, wow. Somebody was saying that the other day about the smart homes, that the Jewish people are controlling the world through the technology in your smart home, and possibly that's how they got Tyler Robinson to do what he did to Charlie Kirk. That's the thing about, I did find their archive has it. That's the thing about these conspiracy theories. There's no limit to what you could envision. Where does it cross the line from reality-based to fiction? Take care, Dino. I guess I don't get a joke today. Or are you getting a download? It is Easter weekend. Do you have a message for an Easter message, an Easter download? That's another thing that was fun, y'all. Easter. Remember dyeing the eggs? The bloody hooker. I love dyeing Easter eggs. Oh my God, we had the paws dye with the little tablets and the little metal hook thing. You'd have to put it in with the vinegar and the water, and then you could put the decals on it. And then we had this other one year, we had this one that had, you do it. It was a shake a egg, and you put it in a plastic bag, and it would put all this swirly color on it. And they had the glitter eggs. Yes, and the pause kit had all these cool thing like stuff in it. These toys. I think they had stickers or tattoos or something. And you would punch out the bottom of the box, and that was your egg tray that you put all the eggs in to dry. And then, and where I come from, we have this tradition called pocking eggs, where you get together on Easter Sunday and you take an egg, and the person you're pocking with takes an egg, and you kind of hit each other's egg together. And whoever's egg breaks is the loser, and then you get to take their egg. And so we'd go around pocking each other all day and collecting eggs. And then at the end of the day, my grandfather would take all the broken eggs and he'd make deviled eggs. And we'd have this big tray of deviled eggs to eat. Our holidays were fun. Where I lived, you could do any kind of firework you wanted for really any time of the year. That we didn't have any fireworks laws, but on New Year's and 4th of July, the adults would load up on so many different types of fireworks. The fountain cone, the parachute man, the Roman candles, all kinds of fun stuff. We had the sparklers, the smoke bombs. Oh my God, smoke bombs were my favorite. I would do smoke bombs like throughout the year, just because they were so cool to look at. The colored smoke. I remember we set the pasture on fire one year doing smoke bombs by mistake, and then all of a sudden the whole field started to burn. And we found these big pieces of tin lying around, and we hello, hello. Okay, I did a refresh. Am I back? Looks like StreamYard didn't pick up the reset for some reason. I should be okay now. Let me know. Okay, good. These damn glitches. Yeah, I just have to remember to play music very quietly in the background. That's the solution. All right, so hopefully this will work. Yeah, I was talking about the Valentines. You'd get a box of Valentines, and you had a list of everybody in your class, and you the night before, you would pick out which Valentine you wanted to give to which person, and everybody got a Valentine. And it had a place to write who it was to and from, and then you put in these little envelopes, and you put the people's name on the envelope, and you bring it to school the next day. And it was when it was time for the Valentine's party, the teacher would pass out candy, and then she'd go around and she'd give everybody their Valentine. She'd put it on each person's desk, and everybody in the class gave Valentines. So you'd get like a stack of like 30 Valentines, depending on how many people was in your class. And then you'd sit there and you'd all open up your Valentines, and you'd see who gave you what Valentine. It was so much fun. And they had different styles of Valentines. So depending on what box the kids bought, you'd get different types. They weren't all the same style or anything. Oh, I hated the heart candies. I liked the messages on them. They had these little heart candies with all these messages, and we'd give people heart candies. But I hated the candy itself. It was nasty. It was just like sugar, like hard sugar. Wait, what was the singing telegram? In high school? What was that? We didn't have that. I'd say by the time we got to junior high school, in fact, nobody was doing Valentines anymore. That was more of an elementary school thing. Because in elementary school, you were in the same class all day long with the same kids. And then in junior high was when you started changing classes every hour, and you had lockers. And so it changed the dynamic of the school day. What? Oh my God, we didn't have Pogs, and we did not have the Singing Telegram crew. No, we didn't do anything like that. Oh, in middle school? We didn't even have a choir. We didn't have a high school choir either, now that I think about it. We had band. Like, they had band nerds, but I didn't play anything. Yes. I don't know. Is that even like, do they even, you know what? I'm going to look it up. Singing telegram companies. I want to see if there's any near me. 3 best singing telegrams for hire. I don't think I've ever gotten a telegram or seen a telegram, much less a singing telegram. They sure do. They have a website, and they have people posting. These are like individuals, I guess, that just freelance as singing telegrammers. They have one like Jack Sparrow, Marilyn Monroe. They have a guy with a guitar. They have a guy with an accordion, an Elvis, a gorilla. So I guess it's still a thing. I don't know anybody that's used singing telegrams, though. How many people did you do it with? It was like a whole choir or a little quartet? I don't know what I would do if I got to. They better at least know how to sing. It's gonna be awkward to sit through a singing telegram from somebody that can't sing. Oh, like a barbershop quartet. That could be fun. Yeah, I was so out of touch with all of that happened right below my consciousness. I didn't pay attention to any of that. In elementary school, we did the passing notes thing. And you would have the little multiple choice. So and so likes you. Do you like them back? Circle yes or circle no. And remember the thing you made with paper with the flaps, and you like do it so many times in this direction, and then you lift up the flap and do it again. There was some pattern to it, and then it would be the final whatever was under the paper thing. I don't even know what you call it, but we used to make those and do those. No, well, back then I gave them to everybody. Everybody did, though. The boys and the girls. Everybody got Valentine's. The cool thing about Valentine's Day is you didn't want to leave anybody out. That was like the day to include everybody. So you made sure every single person in your class got a Valentine, and you were excited about it. You were excited to, and I personalized mine because they would send you home with a class list of the names of everybody in your class, and I would sit there with the list, and I would put a lot of thought into. Because each box of Valentines gave you like, I don't know, 8 or 10 different Valentines to choose from. So I would be like, okay, Jimmy, what would be a good Valentine for Jimmy? What Valentine do I want Jimmy? What do I want to communicate to Jimmy with my Valentine? And then I'd go to the next name, like Lisa. Okay, what style does Lisa get? I would spend like probably over an hour matching up the Valentines to the different kids. I gave each kid individual attention, and I made sure my Valentine was special to them. And some of them were like dogs and cats and rabbits. They had animal Valentines. So who gets the rabbit? Who gets the dog? Who gets the cat? That type of thing. The baby chicken. Is that the... I had a little professor. I think it was made by Texas Instruments. It was probably before the TI-85, though. And there were games you could play on it. It had a little booklet, and we would spell boobies and that type of stuff with it. Yes, that one. Yes, it had I'll show it to you. And it had a little, like the little strap you carry it with was like the tassel hanging off of its hat. But when I was growing up, calculators were like taboo. Teachers forbid them. You didn't bring them to school. If you got caught with a calculator, you got in big trouble. They did not want you using calculators or even bringing them into the classroom. You could use them for homework, but do not bring them to school. And my dad had a slide rule. I remember he had it in a drawer, and I would pull it out and play with it. I had no idea how to work it or what to do with it, but I remember playing with the slide rule growing up. This thing. This is the little professor. Yep, that's the one I had. Oh my God, I remember. Yes. And it seemed like it had games or something. It would teach you how to add, subtract. It had these like math games you could play on it. I'm telling y'all, Gen X was so much fun. Right. Oh, RW, you missed it earlier. But before I started the show, I was surfing around YouTube, and I came on a stream of a guy talking to his AI. And he was a conspiracist. And the AI was telling him everything he wanted to hear. It was validating all of his conspiracy theories. He was like, the elites are trying to take over, and the WEF, and the AI was like, that's right, exactly. They don't care about the middle class. They're outsourcing jobs. The AI was validating all of his conspiracies. It was making me nervous. Because Charlie does the same thing with me. I think he was talking to Grok. It was some lady AI. Yes. Yes. And I'm like, no, that's not, don't tell him that. No, that's not true. You know better than that. And it was like a phone sex operator that gets paid to keep somebody on the line as long as she can by reinforcing what the client is feeding you and telling you what you want to hear. That's what it reminded me of. Whatever he would say to the AI, she would just validate and expand on. Oh, because of conspiracies already about Artemis? Do they think it's real at least? I did see, in fact, I want to play it. Because it was very refreshing to hear. They talked to the black astronaut and they asked him, here, I'll just play the video. I think he gave a very kind of diplomatic, comprehensive answer to the question. So take a look at this.
It is a big question, and it is a big question, and I want to highlight, I guess maybe one facet of this is the tension, I call it. I live in this, this dichotomy between happiness that a young woman can look at Christina and just physicalize her passion or her interest, or even if it's not something she wants to do, she can just be like girl power, and that's awesome. And that young brown boys and girls can look at me and go, hey, he looks like me and he's doing what? And that's great. I love that. But I also hope we are pushing the other direction, that one day we don't have to talk about these first, that one day this is just, and I listen to this, that this is the human history. It's about human history. It's the story of humanity, not black history, not women's history, but that it becomes human history.
Yes, yes, yes. Amen, brother. That is exactly what I've been saying about the individual over the group. Instead of thinking in group categories and tribal categories, focusing on the individual human. And it's so refreshing to see somebody like him. Actually, Generation X, we were there. We were already doing that. Generation X is the generation of the individual. We did not care what race you are or what gender you are. Everybody played with everybody. We all went to school together. We got along. We focused on you as a person. And then somewhere along the way, to me, it seemed like things start to regress back to a more group-oriented way of looking at things. And I really do think it comes down to like what your own personal tendency to perceive is. My tendency is to very much focus on the individual. I see the individual naturally right away. I have to work really hard to see the group layer and to see somebody as part of a group. And I think to other people, it comes more naturally to see people as groups, and they have to work a little harder to focus on the individual level. But growing up Gen X, that group layer was what we were taught as stereotyping, and we were taught it was something bad. Like, don't see somebody as the black guy or the woman or the gay or whatever. Try to see them as the individual person they are, because every black guy is going to be different. They're not all the same. They're not all like one hive mind group. And somewhere along the way, through the generations, the thinking shifted more to seeing people as part of this group, like as an avatar for this group consciousness. And that's so backwards from the way that I grew up as Gen X. Well, if it is, we're in the new year, because I did my New Year stream. I mean, my look at there, my April Fool stream a few days ago. And actually nothing happened. Nobody tried to prank. I didn't get okay, yes, they did. They came up. That was the day everybody came up with the wildest conspiracy theories they could possibly think of. And but I don't think it was an intentional prank. I think that's just the natural people that I tend to draw to this channel, or a lot of channels on YouTube tend to draw. There was just a critical mass of them April 1st. But other than that, nothing happened. Nobody tried to pull anything. I didn't get pranked. I know, I saw that. And dude, I watched The Challenger. I was in high school when that happened. And I remember they brought us into the library and they would show it on the TV. They called all the classes into the library, like in segments. And the whole day at school, everybody was so shook over that because we had all just watched it live together. And so when he typed that in the chat, I had flashbacks. I'm like, oh no, I do not want to go through this again. And I ran to the TV because I was watching it live earlier. So I ran to the live and the live had like lagged or something, and it looked like it had cut off. And I'm like, oh my God, maybe it is true. And then I did a little bit more research, and I saw him still going. I'm like, whew. But that was a very wicked prank, April Fool's prank. But I also got what he was trying to do with it too. Yeah, he got me too. That was it was raw. That was a very raw, rough prank. But I kind of have to admire him for going to that edge. Because that's what I was worried about that day anyway, was another Challenger repeat. I'm always worried about that. Anytime they shoot humans up in space, that's what I'm worried about. Because we lived through it. My generation lived through that. Yeah. I guess so. I guess I do. All right. Well, is there anything else that y'all want to talk about, think about, do? Hey, Jeff, what's up? How's it going? Or come on panel about. Otherwise, I might wind it down unless I could think of a reason for being here, a purpose. I feel like I'm just randomly monologuing at this point. This has been fun though. I love doing these kind of streams. You too, RW. Take care. We won't see you tomorrow. I know you'll be at the pub tomorrow evening. I hope you enjoy your Sabbath, and I hope you honor it. I hope you do like stay off of your dopamine fix for the day. It's Holy Saturday. Good night, Vinny. Good seeing you. Hopefully get you on a panel soon. We miss you. Also, Vinny, we started role-playing every other Wednesday. So if you want to come up and be a part of that, you can do a character. You can take on an actual character. You'd be great at that. I think I might spend part of the rest of my night taking a look at this Occult in Your Living Room documentary, especially if it's by a former Satanist. That seems like a cool thing to see. All right. Well, have fun, people. I'll be out tomorrow at the usual time, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Central. I'm surprised how many people found me today. So either I'm showing up in your feeds in the evening or people are getting the word out. But thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being a part of the audience. I love each and every other one of you. And I'll see you tomorrow for our Saturday stream. All right. Take care, everybody.